General tips for safer fasting during Ramadan. Always remember that you can ask your healthcare professional such as a pharmacist or a GP for advice. Top tip number 1. It may not be safe to fast during Ramadan if you use insulin, as it can lower your sugars to a very low level and lead to poor diabetes control and ill health. Ask a healthcare professional for advice. Top tip number 2. You may need to adjust the amount of diabetic medication you take during fasting. Please ask a healthcare professional for advice. Top tip number 3. During fasting, it is important to know your blood sugar reading. You can use a glucometer at home without breaking your fast. Top tip number 4. Please remember to check on any relatives and neighbours who may be living alone and are fasting with diabetes during Ramadan. Top tip number 5. The Quran, Surah 2, verse 184 states that if you are ill or travelling, then you may not need to fast. Even though fasting is important for Muslims, there is a concession for those who can't fast. Try not to overburden yourself, which may lead to potential ill health. Top tip number 6. Women who are breastfeeding may not need to fast. Please consult a healthcare professional if breastfeeding and planning to fast during Ramadan. Top tip number 7. Fidya is a compensation in Islam for a missed act of worship that must be otherwise fulfilled. If you are unable to fulfill a missed fast due to illness, you should discuss this further with an Islamic scholar. Top tip number 8. When opening or closing your fast, you should try to avoid cakes, biscuits, sweets such as mithai and chocolates. Drinks such as tea, coffee and fizzy drinks contain caffeine, and as it is a diuretic, it stimulates faster water loss through urination. Drinking these should be kept to a minimum or avoided. Fasting in Ramadan is not only about avoiding food in the day, but also an opportunity to develop good habits of eating that can remain with you throughout the year. Top tip number 9. There are healthy alternative snacks that can provide you with energy and satisfy your hunger. Snacks that are low in both fat and sugar are ideal. Iftar is a meal which breaks the day's fast. The most commonly consumed foods by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ were milk, lamb, dates, mutton and oats. Healthy foods mentioned in the Holy Quran are fruit and vegetables such as olives, onions, cucumber, figs, grapes, as well as pulses such as lentils and beans. Top tip number 10. The morning pre-dawn meal before starting the fast should not be missed where possible. Try to include foods that will help release energy slowly during the long hours of fasting. Complex carbohydrates are found in grains and seeds like barley, wheat, oats, millets, semolina, beans, lentils, wholemeal flour and basmati rice. Top tip number 11. If you are in a high-risk category, it is possible that certain changes to medication or lifestyle can help to improve your condition and move you towards a safer category, allowing you to fast in Ramadan or at other times safely. Top tip number 12. If you regularly have high blood sugars, you may be at risk of further poor health if you fast. Speak to your healthcare professional for advice. Top tip number 13. If you have kidney disease or circulation problems or an active physical job, your condition may get worse if you fast during Ramadan. Consider a change in work or fasting on another day. Try to drink plenty of clear fluids at times when you are not fasting to keep yourself hydrated. Top tip number 14. If you have low blood sugars or have been feeling unwell, you are at a higher risk of having problems if you fast in Ramadan. Consider delaying your fast to a later date in the year or avoiding it to prevent any further problems. Always carry something sweet with you to eat in case of low blood sugars to reverse hypoglycemia. If you are unsure, speak to your healthcare professional.